Hey there guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. And in today's video I'm reviewing the AFL Magic 1 single balanced armature in-ear monitor. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews, and yeah, the Magic 1 AFL is on a bit of a roll lately. They are rising quickly in the Chi-Fi ocean of IEM brands that are out there, and let's give it a bit of a platform, and we'll bring in the IEMs. Boom, or at least one of them. There they are. And what should we do first today? You know what? Let's do the IEMs first today because they're quite pretty. Have a look at that. Now, the price of the Magic 1 is $139. Remember, we're talking about a single balanced armature IEM. That's what the faceplates look like. Quite classy, I must say. And on the underside, beautiful clear shells, 3D printed, but I think they look quite spectacular, which might be part of the reason they've been pretty popular so far. Now, before we go any further with those, I will say they are super comfortable, great to wear, nice passive noise isolation. Because it's a single balanced armature, these shells or housings don't have any vents in them. So if you are susceptible or sensitive to cabin pressure or pressure buildup in your ears, you probably don't want to think about All-BA IEMs unless they're vented, which these are not. So let's take a moment now to have a look at this lovely cable. And I say lovely because it's lovely. Have a look at that. It's a mixture of OCC and SPC, otherwise known as copper and silver plated copper. It's got this gorgeous silver and white color, all metal components, straight termination or straight plug there. The cable handles well. I think it looks great, and yeah, that's really nice to see. Alright, so let's dive right into the sound now, and I might throw up the graph here. And as you can see there, look, if you're familiar with single balanced armature IEMs, you should know that they just don't do sub bass very well. What they do well is a nice, agile, speedy bass. You can hear sub bass tones, but there's no physical rumble. They lack physicality, they lack authority in the sub bass. That's just the way it goes. You've either got to make a hybrid with a dynamic driver, or you've got to throw multiple balanced armatures in there. So I'm going to say right from the get-go, if you're a bass head, look elsewhere. You're not going to find your satisfaction here. But the bass on the Magic 1 is speedy. Like I said, there's no bloat, there's no bleeding into the mid-range. And despite being a single balanced armature driver, I think it delivers a pretty good amount of warmth on the lows and even some decent mid-bass impact. So sub-bass physicality is a no-show or a no-go, but the mid-bass you can actually feel a little bit of punchiness there, so it does not bad at all. But this kind of bass is perfect for people who prefer a very polite or courteous but yet punchy sound in the low frequencies. Then for the mid-range, I'd say the mid-range is clean with a nice neutral tone. The neutral note size, I think, could perhaps use a little bit more roundness or fullness just for naturalness, but I think it's still convincing enough, and it is definitely engaging. Vocals are nice and articulate, but they're not clinically dry. Good spacing between instruments makes it easy to distinguish between different sounds and instruments. I just said instruments twice, didn't I? But the mid-range lets you hear the details in your music without any coloration or distortion. So you've got a nice uncolored, fairly neutral mid-range that doesn't sound clinical, sounds fairly natural. And overall, it's got this sort of pristine and clean presentation. And then in terms of treble, well, the treble on the Magic One is, I'd say it's a little bit subdued, but that is because you've got that tight bass with sort of lowered quantity and the bass speed, but because of that you don't need a really forward treble for the treble to come through. And that's a good thing because you get this nice crisp treble. It's fairly detailed, but you don't have to sort of push it forward. It's not blasting into your ears. So there's no sharpness here, or there's no sibilance. You might get a little bit of upper mid-range fatigue if you turn the volume up and you're listening to certain things like screeching electric guitars or female vocals belting it out. It might get a little bit fatiguing in the upper mids, but as far as the treble goes, I think they've done a good job on it there, and it's pretty easy on the ears. The treble extension and the treble timbre are both impressive, and I think the treble here harmonizes cohesively. Well, it's a single driver, so the overall sound is pretty cohesive. That's the advantage of single driver, whether it be single planar, single dynamic, single balanced armature, etc. And then in terms of soundstage and technicalities, look, I would say the soundstage and imaging are pretty good on this. It's not a huge, expansive soundstage, but the imaging is quite accurate, so it does give you a good idea of where instruments are placed within that soundstage. Overall resolution and instrument separation are good because you've got that BA driver speed working in your favor, or in its favor. And the detail retrieval is, well, there's no problem with it. I would say it's definitely where it should be for this kind of price range. It is good. It's not exceptional detail retrieval, but it even picks up most micro details pretty clearly. Now, in terms of comparisons, look, I was going to compare this with the FiiO FA1, but I've misplaced it somewhere. It's buried in a mountain of boxes somewhere, and I just don't have the time to go and find it. But I would like to remind people that, well, it was probably, I don't know how long ago. Let me see, actually. I can check. I can check and tell you right now. So way back in 2019, perhaps even late 2018, FiiO had a single balanced armature IEM. It sold for $99. It was called the FA1, and it had a kind of a similar sound signature. I think it was, well, it had a fuller mid bass, but it did have a little bit of an edginess in the treble. But I think things haven't really advanced all that much. Like the Magic One here supposedly has a self-developed new balanced armature driver, but honestly it still suffers the same shortcomings that every single balanced armature has, and that is of course the bass, and especially the sub bass. However, there are advantages. You get that magic speed, so very crisp and clean transients. The mid-range is done nicely here, the treble is done nicely, and even the mid-bass is pretty satisfying here. Personally, I would not use this for a daily driver because I haven't met a single BA IEM that works for me yet as an all-rounder. But having said that, as far as single BA IEMs go, this one is pretty darn good, and it is in that entry-level price range, so it's quite affordable. You get a beautiful build, very nice, great cable, and you do get a metal carrying case. I forgot to mention that, but folks, that is the AFUL Magic One. People seem to like it. I like it, but yeah, like I said, not my daily driver material. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. And if you are new here and you would like to see more content like this in the future, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments below if you are the owner or if you have tested any single BA IEMs, and let me know if they are suitable for you as a daily driver. Anyway, until next time, I'll see you later.